Okay, part two, the deuce.
Now,
Part two of how all these people know each other, and they're going to keep trotting out scandal after scandal after scandal. So, ladies and gentlemen, clearly, as I discussed on yesterday's show, which please you must listen to, the Ukraine quid pro quo was tried before in 2018. Yesterday, I showed you a New York Times article alleging a Ukrainian quid pro quo by the Trump team. Dump the Paul Manafort investigation, Ukraine, or we're not going to give you Javelin missiles. Another hoax that happened in 2018. But, as Hat Tip 279 thinks, and I happen to agree, that may have been a test run for another Ukrainian quid pro quo scandal, which we're living through right now, the impeachment hoax. Investigations on Biden or no military aid. Why Ukraine? Just, well, ladies and gentlemen, for the exact same, in other words, why are the Democrats, I told you they're trotting out plan after plan after plan, hoax after hoax after hoax. These hoaxes are not picked randomly. Why not a Nigerian scandal? Why not a Lithuanian collusion scandal? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats are trotting out these fake hoaxes because these fake hoaxes are covering up their malfeasance. They all know each other and they all have something to hide. Hillary Clinton's involvement with Russia, the Skolkovo project in Russia where they stole our military technology. Hillary Clinton promoted that. Hillary Clinton's paying of a foreign spy who allegedly used Russian sources to interfere in a campaign. All the Obama administration's reset and bootlicking of the Russians, they don't want any of that to come out. So what do? You allege Trump colluded with the Russians. The Ukrainian quid pro quo scandals and the test run in 2018 and the impeachment hoax we're living through now is nothing more than an effort to hide election interference between key Ukrainians, Fusion GPS, and the Obama administration's blind eye to Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's kid, scandalous appointment to a natural gas company for $1 million deal while Biden was the point man. That's why. This is not random. Now, as I told you yesterday, this Lev Parnas, a former associate of former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who was looking into some Ukrainian corruption using his legal skills and investigative skills, Giuliani had known this guy, Lev Parnas, and this other guy, Igor Fruman. Yesterday I said Foreman. I meant Fruman. I'm sorry. These guys, Igor Fruman, ladies and gentlemen, how early did Igor Fruman and Lev Parnas become targets of the left? No. I kind of hinted at this a little bit yesterday, but I want to hat tip Tracy Beans. I'll have her article today. It's at Uncover DC up on my show notes, bongino.com/newsletter. Bongino.com/newsletter. Subscribe. Read this article. It's very good. It's short and sweet. It's on my show notes today. How early was Parnas and Fruman targeted? Why does this matter? You see where I'm going with this? The left finds out. The left knows they have to cover up their involvement with Ukraine in the 2016 election. They understand that. They also know they have to cover up Joe Biden and Joe Biden's kid and their corruption in Ukraine. Why? Because Joe Biden's going to run for president. They don't want to damage him, and they don't want the Obama administration, which is going to be beatified soon, to turn into the scandalous administration in the media it really was. So they need to make the Ukraine scandal about Republicans. Step one. Step two, they find out Rudy Giuliani is over there uncovering devastating collusion between key Ukrainian figures, U.S. diplomats in Ukraine, and the Obama administration to interfere in the 2016 election. I'll get to that in a second. Step three, they find out that this guy, Lev Parnas, and this other guy, Fruman, Igor Fruman, are dealing with Giuliani and potentially feeding him information. Joe, what do you think the left does? Ding, 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 ding. Antenna go up on the left and go, well, what do we have to do? Well, of course, we have to character assassinate and target this guy, Parnas and Fruman, to stop Giuliani from looking into what happened in Ukraine. It's really just that simple. So let's get to part two of the show today, which is even more fascinating. Again, hat tip Tracy Beans. So the group that originally filed the complaint against Fruman and Parnas, again, associates of Giuliani that had bullseyes on their back the minute they started looking at what the Democrats did in Ukraine. There's a group that filed a complaint with the Southern District of New York Department of Justice that started this whole thing. Matter of fact, if you go to their website, the Campaign Legal Center or whatever it is, you can even see they're bragging about this. Look at this, October of 2019. The CLC, whatever, Campaign Legal Center. Complaint results in arrest of 2 Ukrainian American Trump donors connected to Giuliani. They're like, yes, look what we did. Send us some money. So now we know that the CLC are the ones that started this, that said, you better go get that guy Parnas and Fruman. They're working with Giuliani. We can't have that. You may find some stuff over there. This can't be. It can't possibly be, Joe, that one of the CLC's bigger donors would be the Open Society Foundation's George Soros' group. That can't possibly be. Well, of course it is, because if you're watching the show on YouTube, youtube.com/Bongino, this is from their website. They're not the only donor. There are many. This is a screenshot. There are more than 4. I just took a screenshot in the interest of space. But you'll see that is a picture of my iPhone. CampaignLegal.org. This is their website. You go to their donor page, and there it is. Open Society Foundations. Crazy. Just nuts how a George Soros group, heavily involved in the whole Ukraine scandal, is a donor to a group that initiates the legal action against associates of Giuliani who wind up being prosecuted by the Southern District and then flip on Donald Trump. Crazy, man.
How does this happen?
I don't know, crazy. Joe. I just don't know.
How does this happen?
Now, what's odd about that is if we look at the date on that complaint, you'll see it's July 25th, 2018.
Right.
My question to you is, if the recordings, remember, they were taking their phones, Parnas and Fruman, and recording the president. Why would you do that? Well, you'd probably do it because you were working for someone and you wanted to produce evidence of a Ukrainian collusion quid pro quo scandal that doesn't exist. But if those recordings were made April 30th of 2018, but the complaint wasn't filed till July 25th of 2018, how early were Fruman and Parnas targeted? In other words, Joe, was there an effort by people connected to Soros or others in the Ukraine, other Obama loyalists? Was there an effort to stop this investigation Giuliani and Fruman and Parnas were involved in, and an effort to pressure them? Did Parnas and Fruman say, no, we're good. We're going to do our thing with Giuliani? And then did somebody say, okay, let's go to plan B, Joe. What's plan B? Let's drop a lawsuit. Let's drop legal action against them using the Southern District of New York by a group conveniently funded by Soros. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just asking these questions. How conveniently, right in this time frame, they're investigating with Giuliani, Parnas and Fruman, that is. They're investigating what's going on here in Ukraine. All of a sudden, this pressure campaign starts. My guess is they warned them and said, you're going to work for us now. Turn over whatever you got. Maybe they were using the recordings as leverage because they knew something was coming down the pipeline later. Timeline fits.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud and follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.